to me, void ab initio yung articles of impeachment, and therefore, that can be the subject of a motion to quash or a motion to dismiss before the Senate sitting as an impeachment court on May 18, 2026.
Doon sa impeachment case ni Vice President Sara Duterte, sabi nga ni SP Cayetano, by May 18, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, o soonest ay magko-convene po yung Senado patungkol nga dito sa impeachment case ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Ano ho bang inaasahan po ninyo?
Well, alam mo, yung Senado naman, meron silang duty, no, to constitute themselves into an impeachment court. So tama yung sinabi ni Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, na action sila dito at Mayo 18 nga ang target date or earlier. Now, ako naman, from my view, based on circumstances and political reality, the articles of impeachment is dead in the water. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Baka ma-dismiss yan eh. On the part of the defense, meron silang option questionin yung validity, yung legality ng or constitutionality ng articles of impeachment through a motion to dismiss or a motion to quash. Kasi merong question doon sa proceedings ng Committee on Justice. Remember, ang House noong April 29, April 24, April 4, March 25. Nag-conduct sila ng proceedings eh. But at the time, the House and the Senate were not in session or in recess. Okay? So, yung kanilang continuation ng proceedings, I'm talking of the Committee on Justice, was in violation or in contravention of Article 11, Section 3, subparagraph 2 of the Constitution, which mandates that yung kanilang proceedings ay maganap or gagawin when Congress is in session. Nakasaad doon mismo that they have to file the committee report within 60 session days. Eh. Kahit yung filing, dapat kahit yung action sa file complaint should take place during the session days ng House. Pero hindi ito nangyari. Yung 4 na araw wherein nag-present sila ng mga witnesses like accused kidnapper Madriaga, the controversial Antonio Trillanes III, yung AMLAC Executive Director na nagkaroon ng unauthorized disclosure of confidential information in violation of the AMLA law of 2021 and other witnesses, nangyari nung days na walang session ang House, March 25, April 4, April 22, and April 29. Eh lahat ito ay void eh. Pag void, dahil ang House Resolution 892 is void, being contrary to Article 11, Section 3 sa Paragraph 2, ibig sabihin yung kanilang finding of probable cause ay void din. At void din yung kanilang committee report at articles of impeachment na hinanda ng Committee on Justice, which was voted favorably by the plenary noong Mayo 5, May 5. So ito ay pwedeng questionin in a motion to quash or motion to dismiss before the Senate sitting as an impeachment court. So for all intents and purposes, hindi mag-prosper yung ganyang kaso na void from the beginning. I'm talking of the articles of impeachment. So yan ang aking perspective. At saka, yung aking experience sa impeachment, yung Corona, especially at saka Bautista impeachment where I was involved, eh nangyari yung mga proceedings na yan when Congress was in session, when the House was in session. Eh. Wala during the recess. And even Gutierrez impeachment nangyari when Congress was in session. And even the Davide impeachment happened when Congress was in session. So ngayon lang nangyari ito na itong impeachment proceedings against our Vice President Sara C. Duterte ay nangyari when Congress is in recess. So you see the voidness of the proceedings ng House Committee on Justice at saka yung action nila dito sa mga complaints. Aside from the other objections like sila na ang nagsisil ng mga defekto at kakulangan doon sa dalawang complaints, nagkaroon tuloy ng issue on fishing expedition. So, to me, void ab initio yung articles of impeachment, and therefore, that can be the subject of a motion to quash or a motion to dismiss before the Senate sitting as an impeachment court on May 18, 2026.
At yung mga petisyon doon sa Supreme Court, attorney, magiging makakaapekto ho ba yun? Hihintayin pa bang desisyon ng Supreme Court bago sila, isa rin ho ba yun sa magiging grounds para masabi natin pwedeng hindi na ituloy muna ang impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte dyan sa Senado?
Actually, in the absence of a temporary restraining order or preliminary mandatory injunction, hindi pwedeng harangin yung Senado, di ba? Depende na rin sa Senado kung anong action nila if they will defer to the Supreme Court. But if the Supreme Court will issue a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction, they will have to honor it. Kasi yan ang rule of law. So, tingnan natin ang situation, no? I don't want to preempt kasi hindi naman natin alam kung ang nasa mind ng ating kataas-taasang hukuman. We have really high respect for the court. As an officer of the court, kasi abogado ako, I will really put so much faith and confidence in the Supreme Court and even defend it to my last breath, kasi yan po ang obligasyon ng isang abogado. We have to defend the institution of the Supreme Court. So much so that as a citizen, I will also defend to the death the sanctity and integrity of the Senate. So, tingnan natin ang mangyayari dyan, Admar. We do not know anything can happen before May 18.
Opo. Si Jade po ulit ito,
Yes,
attorney.
Jade.
Opo. Kung sakali mang absent si Senator Bato during the, yung impeachment court na nga, pagko-convene po nila, makaka-apekto ba yun sa maaaring boto po ng majority o ng yung magiging boto po ng impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte?
Alam mo, actually, walang epekto talaga kasi you need 16 votes to convict eh. Diba? Imposible na ma-attain yan eh. Hindi na aabot kasi kahit hindi pa mag-appear si Senator De La Rosa dyan sa impeachment proceeding sa Senate. 12 votes as against 9 sa minority at 2 pa sa abstain. It's impossible na aabot sila sa 16 or 15. Granting na i-consider natin na 15 na lang dahil nag-resign si Senator, now Secretary of Education, Sani Angara. So, imposible maabot yung number. Kaya, ang sabi ko nga, politically and reality-wise, the impeachment is dead in the water. At maari ho bang gumamit ng sumama si Senator Bato via Zoom kung papayagan po ng Senado para makahilahok po? Kung papayagan ng bagong majority yan, pwede yan. Kasi sila naman ang batas dyan sa Senado eh. They are superior in their own sphere. Hindi pwedeng pakialaman sila kahit ng Korte Suprema. And if it is in accordance with their rules of impeachment, at saka that is reasonable given the fact na hinahunting ng NBI si Senator Bato para arestuhin ng illegally, so pwede nilang payagan yan. At pwede rin tayo masurpresa, Jade, baka biglang mag-appear, mag-sulpot dyan sa Senado si Senator Bato eh. We do not know eh.
Yes,
Depende yan kay Senator Bato eh. Di ba? So baka pupunta siya dyan. So depende.
Opo. Siguro, attorney, yung huling mensahe na lamang at siguro generally, nakikita ho ba ninyo yung mga nagaganap na tensyon sa Senado, itong ang impeachment? Lahat po yan may possible na papel o may impluensya mula sa ehekutibo, particular na po ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. Yung last message na lang din po.
Despite the disclaimer or denial of President Marcos Jr. hinggil doon sa assault ng NBI, I am inclined to believe based on circumstances and personal observations na may kagagawan ang palasyo or ang administrasyon. Hindi lamang sa assault na nangyari ng Mayo 11 at Mayo 13, yung attempt. Pati yung impeachment, may kagagawa ng administrasyon kasi they control the majority in the House. So, ang reality is, merong hand si President Marcos Jr. dito, being the political leader of the coalition in the House. At siya rin ang kinikilalang symbolic head, if not the political head, of the minority led by former Senate President Soto. Kaya meron siyang kagagawan dito with all due respect, despite his attempt to deny itong nangyari noong Mayo 13. May kagagawan, of course. Imposible mangyari ito na merong audacity itong si Matibag and his agents kung walang basbas ng palasyo.